Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Is that a good walk?
Yeah.
It's short. This road keeps going, and then there's these old, like 100-year-old abandoned cabins with like relics of a whole nother era, and it just keeps going. And every day I try to go a little further. Took the bike out here yesterday, almost grafted a couple times, so I was like, oh, it would be really bad to knock myself out here 10 miles out on this 14-inch mountain bike that isn't working very well. The gears need to be regenerated. Oh, what an amazing day. Perfect weather, sun, fresh air, trees, and all that amazing fruit. Let's see, who just got here? Like a lot of people, new people. Yeah. You've been here. No, you're new. You've been here. You're new. You're new. You've been here. You've been here. You're new. You're new. You're new. You're new. You've been here. You're new. You're new. You're new. You're new.
I've been here.
You're new. You've been here?
I was here last year.
Yeah, but I mean for this week, second week.
Yeah, no,
and you're new.
Yep.
Are you wearing nail polish?
Yeah. This was amazing. I had all four of the most important women in my life. If my mother was there, it would have been the pinnacle of all things. But my ex-wife, my girlfriend, and my two daughters, and we were all shopping together. Now I was standing outside on the corner, because I get a little sick of that stuff. I'm just the swiper at the end of the thing, right? And sometimes yeah, that looks pretty good, or no. But that's a very fine line that we walk, isn't it, gentlemen?
Yes.
Of course you're... Yes. Those pants look great on your backside, you know?
They make it look small.
What's that? Yeah. Anyways, though, we were shopping, and I saw this fingernail polish. I said, this is a great color. Somebody buy this. Let me buy this for somebody. One of you like this. None of them liked it. So I just said, fine. And I put it on myself. And so it's still the remnants of the pinnacle of my experience with...
You should go full out next time. And toes.
Oh, I have. In fact, next year when I come to Woodstock, I'm going full drag. I used to go to Burning Man and I would wear women's clothing. I like it. Oh, I forgot about the camera. I'm just kidding.
Anywhere else besides Burning Man?
Anytime I get a chance. No, but women's clothing is just way more comfortable. Right?
I like men's clothing.
Really?
Yeah, or at least my women's clothing are so tight.
Especially the shirts.
I get them like that, but...
I guess it's this. I guess I'm referencing the softness of the panties, and we'll just stop there.
This is all on YouTube, right?
Okay, one more little thing. I was at Burning Man, and this girl comes up to me, and she goes, those panties look better on you than they would on me. Thank you. Yeah. Now we're really getting in trouble with the YouTubes. Oh my God, I gotta unsubscribe from this guy. He's weird. You didn't know that already? You haven't been around here for long, have you? Should we talk about something serious? So, no, let's get serious now. Everyone interested in health?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Happiness? Yeah. More joy than yesterday?
Who wants that?
Yeah, boring. More joy, more peace, which is already there, you know. That's the excavation process. So, I gave a talk, Eating for Enlightenment, the other day, and everyone was like, it was so great, it was so great, it was so great. And I just had a couple of funky days before that, you know, just kind of overate. Overeating for me is like it's lettuce and salad dressing. You know, I'm just getting to that point where the breath is becoming so much more important, the breathing. the apparatus. And that's why here it's so amazing. Your energy just goes up, because I mean, I'm always driving around in the truck. I'm like living in my truck right now, in traffic, in the Bay Area or whatever, you know. And so the spiritual centers in our sinus cavities have gotten so acidic, so clogged up, that's why we've, you know, we're not fully alive. That's why you can't get mad at the people for there is no God, because they don't have that conscious contact and connection, because the centers in our brain have just gone dormant. So we're just walking around like this, you know, let me get more stuff. If I get more stuff, then I'll be happy, you know. Or putting down the people who love God, because we've had those times where the air was fresh and clean and everything was activated, and we had those experiences where there was like all this unlimited light, and then the rest of our life is kind of based on those experiences of like getting hit upside the head with this flush of love and peace and light. And then you're like, okay, where's Shangri-La? I'll eat my way there. Can I meditate my way there? Can I pray my way there? Can I breathe my way there? So we keep looking for that Shangri-La. How do we get back to that? And in that journey, we find these little things like, oh, juicing and raw foods. Well, that helps. Meditation. Well, that seems to help. Prayer. That really seems to help. Kindness, love, silence. That really seems to help. Anything we can do to like have that opportunity to sort of climb the ladder by letting go and letting that flower of consciousness just do its work in us, you know. Some people call it the rising of the Kundalini or whatever, but it wakes up and then it starts cleaning you up. Anybody on the cleanup crew path here? All your crap every day. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pleasant days and unpleasant days. Welcome to life. I just want the pleasant days, damn it. I just want the sunshine all the time. If there was sunshine all the time, even a dude like me that never burns would get a sunburn eventually, you know? So thank God for the rain that came, and I had the introspection and some downtime. It wasn't like, oh, the rain came and I was depressed. It was just perfect to go sit in the room, hide out, and process some stuff. Because of all the energy here, this is where my battery gets filled up. You know, this is where my cup runs to overflowing. People that actually get it. They get me, they get it, they come out here, Dan, I love you, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. I didn't kill myself, my grandma's still alive, you know. I have got rid of the cancer, I'm 100 pounds lighter, and my cup gets full. I can go back out into the world and like, okay, let's go see if we can get these rocks to fly, you know. There's a few that sprouted wings, and then they all came to Woodstock and told me it works. I was a rock, then I started to fly because I sprouted wings from the raw foods or the thinking, that the things you were sharing, you know. And then, you know, and then I had to process a lot of the things that have happened over the last few years, you know, which affects your sensitivity, you know. There was a comment, Dan, this guy's insecure and insensitive, or too sensitive, you know. It's like, I don't know if that's such a bad thing, because it gives me the laser point to focus on, you know, the little details. Like I was saying in the Eating for Enlightenment talk, which by the way, I thought sucked. While I was in it, I thought it was really, it took me till the last 10 minutes, and then the power turned on. There's this thing that switches on. Some of you have noticed 3 to 5 minutes into a video or something, just, whoa, there he is, you know. And it took like 45 minutes for the light bulb to turn on, because I'd had such a couple funky days, and I was like energetically like, you know. And then at the last 10 minutes it turned on, and I thought, God, if I could just edit out that last 10 minutes, it'd be great. But I don't edit, because I don't know how, but I'm going to learn. I swear to God, this year I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn about YouTube, and I'm going to learn about editing. Because I've had so much fun just doing this right here, that it's like, this is what's real, and let's just get it on there, and if I say something stupid, then just leave it, you know? Who cares? But it would be cool to, like, I could do better with my career and make more money and get more viewers and all that. And I feel like I'm kind of ready for that now. It's like, okay, we've had some fun. If they don't know you by now, they will never, never, never know you. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you don't edit, then you're real. You know, you could edit out, oh, don't say that. It's like, you know. So anyways, I watched that talk last night, Eating for Enlightenment, that I thought while I was living it, and it was like, it wasn't coming through there. I wasn't channeling. But it was like, it was Dan though, the man who's been through so much, and it was real. And I was like, wow, that was an amazing talk. When I watched it last night, when I went to, oh, I'll just check this out. I didn't, you know, I get this sense of, oh, that'll just go into the treasure chest. And the treasure chest is Ricky's brilliant idea, where just, because I make 5 or 6 videos a day, and one a day or every other day makes it up. So I've got all these footages, all this video footage, and he goes, well, you should make a treasure chest, and then we'll sell that for 97 bucks. I'm like, yes, that's a brilliant idea, on little USB card thingamajiggers. Just finding a way, always finding creative ways to effortlessly support this thing, because it's like I'd be out there just championing it and like living in a sleeping bag, you know what I mean? But I love my kids, and Natea is here. Many of you have met her, and many of you haven't, but you will. She's the little butterfly that's connecting with everybody, and so excited about everything. It's amazing. And she'll be doing a talk with me on eating for teens tomorrow or the next day. We crushed that one. Cram. Because she's doing so well, and now she comes here, gets off the gourmet raw, her skin clears up, you know. Anyways, that the Eating for Enlightenment thing was pretty cool. We're going to do that again. I don't know if I can repeat that. It was so funny to see that. Like, I thought, oh, that one sucked. I'll just toss it into the treasure chest. And I watched it last night. I was like, well, that's going to YouTube. That was DTM random, you know, stuff. But then it was just, but it was real. It was good. It was about love. And it was about, like, what's really going on here about this. Like, what this is really about to me, you know? And how this, I mean, after 14 years on raw vegan, I just barely got started on the potential of what's possible of reactivating myself as a human being. Because, you know, Cocoa Puffs, government cheese, that yellow waxy stuff when you're on welfare that they give you from the WIC program. It's like, I think one of the ingredients is tire rubber. You ever had that? Yeah. Oh, it was hard. We were just, no. It was green beans, government cheese, hamburger helper. So it's, hello, is your DNA fully activated, Mr. McDonald? I'm not sure. I don't think so. And you get back to realizing that these foods, each one has a subtle essence which can activate dormant centers in your brain. The people are like, the meat made our brains grow. No, the meat made your stomach grow. The fruit made our brains grow, but beyond that, it was using our brains that made them grow. If you use it, you create another dendrite, you know what I mean? Another neuron in your brain. But if you don't use it, you won't create that neuron. So using our brains is what made them grow. A great justification for the consumption of the flesh of our dead brothers and sisters, but I'm not really a super hardcore vegan police type person. I will do that in the classes and teach that I don't think that eating meat is necessary or beneficial. I mean, if you're freezing your ass off in Siberia and you're going to die if you don't, or if you're an Alaskan Eskimo, I'm not going to try to go up there and be like, hey man, you should be vegan. And then be like, well, I'll
send Harley for you.
Yeah. So there's an unrealisticness about it all. And the other part of it too is knowing that I live in the you know, the warm, I live in the best place to be a raw foodist. Central California, in the Bay Area, where the best food is available year round. And
those farmers markets are so good.
And that makes it, the vitality of the food makes a big difference in your life. And the localness of it all, calibrating you to your earth, local earth. So I'm just getting to the point where I'm getting enough discipline now to start really activating potential. Overeating is like so old school. I'm not talking about like having an eating disorder and try to live off like 1 bean a day or something like that, but I'm talking about the people that live the longest. There's one common denominator, so they bring up the Okinawans all the time. How do you explain, why are you against white rice and white bread and all this crap and potatoes? I'm not really against it. I'm just saying it's not the best at all for your body. And so they have the Okinawans, and they live 100 years. Well, yeah, but they don't overeat. They eat the vegetables and get the minerals that way. They don't have stressful lives, and they breathe the fresh air. Number one, longevity, they don't overeat. If you're a king and you eat moderately, you'll live a long time. But that's why the people that are more impoverished and live off the most simple, basic foods live the longest. You know, because you don't need all this weird stuff. I mean, I'm getting to know that I feel better when I just have a nice little bit of one thing. I mean, I'll make a nice salad and stuff, but you can feel it. If you've been mono eating or mono juicing for any length of time, and then you have like a salad with like 8, 10 different things on it.
Yeah, actually yesterday we had gotten a bowl of salad and we thought we could eat it all. It was so much because since we're so used to just juicing, drinking juice, and then we eat like a little snack or something, a little raw snack. Salad was like, do we throw this away? Can we pack it up to go? Like,
yeah.
So now we know today just to get tiny.
Yeah, and get a tiny bit.
We were stuffed.
And the hardest thing in the world to do at the Woodstock Fruit Festival is get time away by yourself. Because when you're talking and eating, you can't focus on chewing really well, extracting the nutrients, creating the chemicals that you need to feel satisfied by the chewing process, as well as breathing deeply while you eat. That's why I came here to this oasis of life. So we are saturated with the cosmic radiation that gives life to our bodies when we sit here in these environments like this. These trees are so alive, and even these dying leaves are alive, and they're sending life vibrations up for us to breathe in and absorb, to heal, regenerate, and bring sanity to the mind by returning to nature. And so the nature is the healer. So when we're dealing with healing, we're looking for those natural environments, and more than anything else, we're looking for pure air. You know, food is secondary to the fresh air, but if the blood is clogged up with too much food, the air isn't utilized as well. And then the neutralization of the acids that have accumulated, which create diseases in the body, have no respiration opportunity. So I made a video. In fact, the video that I titled it, Eating for Enlightenment, I entitled it, Eat Less, Breathe More, Live Longer. At first I thought, live forever, because there was some of that in their eternal life. Perhaps not in the flesh, but I've had a few comments this week actually where they said, Dan, you could stop now and you are eternal. You know what I mean? Like, because my grandma and my uncle and you, like, they've never seen your videos, but through me, their lives have been changed. And you never know, and I guess some part of you shouldn't know or doesn't need to know, but it's good to know that you're still making a difference. Because a lot of people will they'll get it. They won't say anything below the video. They just get it. Cool. I'm going to do this. That was a great video, Dan. They think it to themselves, but they don't say anything. You know? And so then I, realized that this work, which is very random, it has not a lot of structure, very right-brained dude. Well, that's why I like John Kohler. He's both. He's got the right brain. Hey, this is John Kohler, and I've got a list of questions. Mine is like, hi, I'm Dan McDonald, and I have no idea what I'm talking about, but you're crazy enough to sit here and listen, so I'm going to say something, and it's all coming from my right brain, and I have zero structure in any way, shape, or form. And thank God for Ricky, or I'd be starving to death, still living in my white truck with the doors that doesn't shut, living in Motel 6. So I am super stoked to be here and just to share these little stories and my little flow here of an energy vibration that transmits through the camera, but more better in person, that I am absolutely committed.
The spider. Oh, your microphone.
Oh, really?
Daddy, long
Cool. They liked me. So that was my little warm-up, but I would love to answer some questions or hear some stories. Ben, any stories, any questions?
I just
Personal?
wanted to share something I'm like kind of going through, like showing up here, and it's my third Woodstock, and there's a certain level of like I'm really bad with names and faces, and so like the anxiety of like meeting people and they remember me and I remember them, I feel like really bad about that, and so it's kind of caused me to like close up since I've been here yesterday. And I don't know, you probably deal with that. Like, people show up and they're like, "Hey Dan, we met 40, 50 times," and you're like,
Oh, thank God, bro. Would anyone understand? It takes me a while. Like, if someone's going to be in my field enough times where it's going to osmotically rub off into me. But I know what you mean. For me, especially, it's like, so everybody's pretty much bro. And if you're not bro, I don't know what to say to the ladies. What's up, girl? And so I totally dig it. Like, I'm there, bro. But no, Ben's been around enough times to where, yeah, that you've been a part of my life, you show up, and then I just get it, we hang out. So yeah, we've got to find a way to make peace with that. Some people are better at it than others, and it's like, that's one of the secrets of success is remembering people's names and making them feel important. But some of us just smoke too much weed, and we just can't do that. And they make these little lists and play these little games, and I do that too, the games. Like, sometimes it's really important. Not that other people are more important, but I think that it's stressful on the brain to store data that may not be necessary. So let's all forgive ourselves for not remembering everybody's names right away.
It's better knowing the little stuff about them. It's like, I don't remember your name, but I always remember you're the girl that walked and always did this at 6 a.m. and you're always the girl that would eat massive amount of watermelon. So it's nice having like those characteristics of a person, but it's like, but I forgot your name.
Yeah, that's what I do. I always say, but I don't remember your name, but I remember you have such a good vibe, or little things like that. That's kind of one of my ways of assuaging my guilt, But, you could definitely develop that part of your brain if it was really important to you. And there's other businesses where it is more important, I'm an essence-oriented person. Like, I remember your eyes, I remember that you were kind to me, or I remember that you were not kind to me. And I'm still going to be kind to you anyways,
Do you have a problem, Ben, when people don't remember your name?
no. I kind of expect it. Like, I don't have that expectation on other people, but I feel like there's expectation on me. And like, I don't know, like with YouTube, like my channel's not that big, but in the past couple months I've had the first few people recognize me on the street, and it's like, what do I say? So and that's like a good problem to have, so I'm not complaining, but I just want to, like, it causes me stress and anxiety because I am pretty much an introvert who would like to be more extroverted, but it's like I clam up and then I don't know what to do, and then I just sort of just like I don't want to like go in my little hole. Don't bother me, because I don't want to like have the bad interaction where it's that I don't remember you or I come off weird or something,
But are you a busy person? Do you have you deal a lot of things in your mind with other things like work, relationship? Yeah, that's why, of course. So you can't store so much stuff in your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely coming from you and from me. It's coming from ourselves, It's like we have got to find a way to be super gentle, more loving, kind. I am so working on that. It's so easy to love everyone and see the good in them, but then there's me, Dan, whatever. I won't even start. The list goes on, tearing yourself to bits. And so that's just not good for you to do that. So I am just really focusing on loving myself so that I can be a better person towards others, more loving and more kind and more gentle and more accepting of all the aspects of our being, and just keep dropping back into the love. So, what's your name, bro?
John.
Hey, John.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's going on?
Nothing. I actually watch you a lot for the juicing, so I got into juicing really. That's how I kind of started my transition to
It's a great way.
I love juicing, green juices. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel the love over here too.
Yeah, had a great interview with John Kohler yesterday about the I had these questions. I said, John, give me those questions. You're so left-brained. Those are great questions. I never would have thought of that. But about the power of juicing and how, I mean, really, here, we'll do this again, you know, and we can have a debate if you want, but breatharian, liquidarian, fruitarian, you know, vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, with the bottom. No offense, we're not better than you. I'm just saying that once you start getting it, once you start learning how to absorb, you know, the sun, and absorb the silence, and absorb the non-judgment, and absorb the non-anxiety. Like anxiety, it makes you, burns up your stuff, and then you need to eat more. You know what I mean? The stress, the over-exercise of building those acids, then you need the alkalinity of the food. But as soon as you start getting this, walking the middle way, absorbing all the sources of nutrition that are available to us, and your GI tract is clean, you can begin to eat more moderately, puts less stress on the body and mind, get more done, and live lighter and freer, and the buildup isn't there in the joints and in the blood. So you can just, I used to say systematic undereating, but I had to change that to just moderation in all things. I'm not saying starve yourself and try to eat like 4 grains of rice and chew on that for like 4 hours to get enough nutrition. I'm just talking about looking at what's really going on. Why did you just do that? And now you're laying there in a coma. And if there was a fire, you'd have to like roll out of there.
Do you think the body gets more tuned into what it needs? Like you can just eat till you're satiated and then walk away? Or do you think there always needs to be like a conscious mind that has to say, okay, stop here?
Brilliant question. The old you, the small you, the animal you wants to eat more and more and more. Why? Because there were times when there was lean times, man. You're programmed for lean times. And when there's food there, you eat. But now we eat by the Spirit because we know there's no lean times. There's always enough. And so eating, consciously understanding that when you're just 2/3 full, you stop, you step away, you are complete. You know what I mean? But when we were on the cooked foods, we were not getting the nutrition we needed. So we have this comfortable feeling of warm, stretched out belly. And now we're trying to repeat that with raw foods, but it's not necessary. Once you get the GI tract clean and you're actually absorbing the vitamins and minerals that your body is craving. It's not craving protein, it's not craving carbs, it's not craving fats. It's craving minerals so that it can conduct electricity. And once you are out in the desert and you're thirsty and you have no minerals, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll be dragging. You know, you'll be dehydrated, you'll have no electrolytes, you'll have no electricity, and you'll be dry, and your mouth will get dry, and you'll get weak. But as soon as you got some nice minerals in there, minerals that are just electrical communicators. You know, you've all seen the experiment maybe where they take the water and they put the salt with the healthy salt, and then they put the little electrodes in there and it lights up the light bulb. And if you do that with the sugar, there's no light bulb. So the salt, or the minerals in the salt, conduct electricity and the sugar doesn't. So if you're telling sugar's cool for your brain, it's like, ooh, it's like a stimulant, you know? But it's that electricity, that vitality, you know, that comes through when you've got the minerals. That's why I'm just a huge fan of hydration, minerals for getting rid of cancer, diabetes, like waking stuff up that's gone dormant. We're talking, right now, we're talking more so like people's livers and adrenals. Once we get that going, we're talking about even more subtle glands in the brain. The pituitary, pineal, and the spiritual glands, and all within the sinuses that through the breath are activated. And so as you get this more breathing going on, then you start waking stuff up and you start seeing things in a different way. That's why the raw foods, cleansing you out, neutralizing the acid waste. So you're feeding yourself consciousness and the vibration of food. to wake certain things up. Your breathing also gets better, and you start to wake up to this stuff. I mean, did raw foods wake anybody up? Raise your hand if it woke you up in one way or another. Everybody here. I mean, and guess what? 14 years later, revelation after revelation, it's accelerating now. It's really cool. I'm like watching myself evolve before my very own eyes on my very own camera, watching my very own videos, absolutely enamored by what the hell's coming through this, guys. Wow. Good job, Dan. Oh, that's me. Cool. I forget. I get into the zone sometimes, you know?
Is it weird seeing yourself on camera?
Not really. Sometimes I have an issue with the way I look, but that's a deep embedded thing that came from my mom, who when I was in her womb, she was like, I'm going to be ugly and fat and no one's going to love me. A 16-year-old girl pregnant for the second time, thinking in her mind, no one's going to love me, I'm fat, you know, I'm stretch marks, I'm ugly. So guess what's going to go into the unconscious of a little baby's developing? It's like a brain. A little baby that's developing is like a brain for like the first 3 months. And oh, it doesn't till it comes out, it's not getting programmed. Oh, Lord have mercy. No wonder we're so degenerating. You know what I mean? Because the moms are not thinking this child is filled with light. Thank God for the art and the beauty and the music, and praise God, praise the living God for this life inside of me. It's beautiful. It's going to be magnificent little child. Amazing, genius, creative, powerful, strong, healthy. How many moms think that? They're like, oh God, I'm worried, or they're not ready. The husband's not ready, the wife's not ready. It's a 6-pack of beer and a joint. And, oh, hey, yeah, cool. And then here's this, oh, oops. Well, should we do it? Should we not? Okay, well, let's move in together and try it. Bitch, psh, you know, I mean, make me a sandwich. You know, it's like, and then here comes that's what is going on, you know, and nobody's consciously creating children. I've got a plan to make an avatar. I met a lady yesterday, they want to make another child, and I was talking at the talk for teens, and I said, let's make some avatar children here. It's very simple. I've studied this more in depth than any other single subject. How to create a super baby.
Like the blue avatar?
No, I just mean like how to actually be a father that produces the most amazing seed stock. You know what I mean? And a mother who is the fertile soil of love and divinity, and understands that with art and music and creativity and what she is, you know, exposing herself to, like I was saying, it all came out of this. My mom was like, I'm ugly and no one's going to love me. Well, hello. What do you think was pumping through the back of my unconscious mind all the time? Oh, I don't look good today. I can't make a video. Even though thousands of women tell me all the time, you're so handsome. You know what I mean? That's starting to actually sink in. So ladies, please continue. You know what I mean? And guys, if you want. No homo.
From you, like, to really feel it, it has to be self-generated, right?
It has to, and I've got to like accept the lines on my face and that type of thing, to where it's like I went through a lot of stuff. I mean, dude, for me to look as good as I do after what I've been through, a lot of my people, they never came out of it. They're still either dead now or still strung out and just never made it out. And now I see that I had a divine relationship with the Christ energy, for lack of a better way to say it, and it watched me while they would fall. There was this thing that protected me in all these weird situations of violence,
Like
gangs. Huh?
You're like Bubble Boy.
Yeah, like that, in the sense of the Jesus bubble, to where,
You're like a light. You're light.
I got blessed.
You're light.
And the light,
Light for a lot of people too.
the light comes out of that relationship that I have from 4 years old, when I was on the Ernie and Bert bus, and they were talking about the light of Jesus, and I was like, this is one of my favorite stories. It's my first conscious experience. And I went up to Ernie and Bert and I said, that's what I want. And the puppets were like, okay, you'll have to wait till the end of the show and we'll pray for you. And I remember, I want that now. And the Ernie and Berts, they were like talking, the puppeteers were like, what this show is, let's finish the show, or should we do this? And And they were like, well, let's pray for you now, boy. Dear Jesus, come into this boy's heart, you know. And that was the end of the show for me. I walked off that bus. Yeah, dude. And I remember it was at my preschool. I was 4 years old, and it was right down the street from my house. And there was that bus, and I stepped off that bus onto the ground, and I was like, I felt it. That was my first conscious experience, and I've been protected ever since. And there's been so many things that happened to where, why was it me that stood after my friend had fallen from many episodes of violence or drug overdoses, bad batches and things like that, where I just got saved somehow along the way to make it to here. So enough to have the depths of darkness from the overconsumption of these nasty synthetic bathtub filth. But I was just born into that, you know, into the drugs. And my family has a long history of things that I had to come and break. All the cycles. And poverty is one of them. So that's why I made peace right now with the people that say I'm all about the money. You're right. Why? Because I'm going to be the one to break through the guilt. Money, I'm guilty, I'm ashamed. It's the root of all evil. No, it ain't. Money's just money. Just like health. It's energy. It's God's abundance. And if you want to put a limit on God, go for it. But I will not be so foolish. And if God in this universe wants to bless me with a little credit card that I could swipe anywhere I want, even go in and, Mom, you want a house? Swipe. Dad, you want that car you've always dreamed of and you worked too hard at the shipyards and you never got around to getting it because my stepmom wouldn't do it? Swipe the card, buy that for my kid. You girls want to go shopping? Swipe the card. What do I need? Guess what? Money will never buy me what I want, which is a deep, divine, perfect connection with my true self. The deep, the God within, the kingdom of heaven. How much money do I need to buy that? Dear God, how much to bribe you? How much do I need? I'll get it. If it was $10 trillion, I would start today, I would make $10 trillion, and I'd bribe God to fill me, to be full and filled with the light, so that I could just be an overflowing cup, an overflowing eternal cup. To leave, it's not even about the legacy, it's either love or it's death. Love survives forever, and we make a difference by being love. But if we don't do that, we'll never make an eternal difference being critical, judging, hating. It's never going to work. You'll die along with the criticism and judgment. But with love, you'll live forever.
I always say that those type of people use mold.
You what?
They mold. They mold.
Yeah, ferment,
Yeah.
putrefy, and dissipate. But that's the antithesis of the diamond body. The one who's going to live forever, the one who could never die. Not this thing. This thing will be right down here with this. That's what this thing is. Now don't get me wrong, this is the temple where you will find the treasure. This is the temple where the treasure is buried. And these 5 senses, 6 actually, these 6 senses is your treasure map to finding your soul's purpose, which is to completely be embraced and at one with that which is forevermore, you know? So that's just fancy words for saying something is happening here, and I'm saying yes to it, you know? And all the books I've read and all the masters, they've inspired me. And if there is such a thing as love and God and unlimited, infinite abundance and power, then I say yes to that, you know? So that's where I'm coming from. And where does the food fall into that? Well, there's so many people that are so sick. Pain keeps you from being able to meditate. Pain keeps you from being able to serve. Pain keeps your mind on the pain. You know what I'm saying? So if we could live according to the laws of nature and get this body functioning so well that the consciousness would be the only thing there, and you walk by the mirror and you're like, you forgot you had a body because it's functioning so well, pain-free, alkalized. That means you're not overeating. That means you're letting it sleep and recuperate. You're not overworking it. You're not over-exercising it. You're not stressing it with all the worries and anxieties of the world. You're finding calmness and peaceness through the process of faith and surrender that it's got you. The bills will get paid. They will. How do you know that? Because they've always gotten paid, haven't they? Somehow or another. And if they didn't, it was only so that one door could close and another door could open that was a bigger, better, brighter door onto a more awesome, golden, wide path to your biggest and best, most expanded self. It's guiding you perfectly. It's an amazing thing. All you have to do is say yes to it. You can say yes to it and flow like a river, or you can say no to it and just struggle like crazy all the time. You know, so I'm a yes man. You know? See? Pretty good stuff. Once we get flowing here, I'm gonna watch that later and go, cool. Right on, bro. So, are there any other questions?
Yeah.
What's
so
up?
Are you not eating much of processed raw foods now to avoid overeating?
I don't eat a lot of processed. I mean, I'll eat those crackers, Lydia's crackers, maybe once every 6 months.
I'm talking about like smoothies and frozen food and dried foods. And...
I avoid the frozen, so no durian parties for me. I feel that's pretty heavy. No, don't let me stop you. But you'll get so sensitive and you'll be like, you get to a point where you're like, okay, just tonight. Well, tomorrow we go raw, you know. Tomorrow I'll get back on track. I've done that for so many years. It's like, just stay on track now and forevermore. In spite of, now I'm not saying I won't have like a party with Sophia and have like some crackers with some avocados on it every 6 months or something like that. But juice is probably, 60 to 75% of my diet. And then mono fruits and then small, simple salads. Or, not super small. Small for me the way they used to be. When I first started, I had to have all that. But now I'm more aware of what's going on. I'm more centered, more moderate. I know you cannot eat your way to happiness. You can't eat your way to energy either.
Can you under-eat your way to those things?
You can experience more of the vital force by consuming lighter, easier, more digestible foods and less of them, and juicing. So the vital force, but what happens when you have the vital force? That's your awareness expands and you may start detoxing, and so then it's like, well, this sucks, give me some more food, and then, oh, okay, well, I just need to eat. I feel like crap when I don't eat. Well, that's because the rice and the cheeseburgers and the excess fats and the excess salts and everything starts dissolving and going back into the bloodstream and you don't feel well. But once the blood gets clean, you feel much better on less. So, and again, there's a balance. And guess what? There's no book that any teacher is ever going to write that's going to find a way for you to be in balance with yourself. I can speak in general terms, like overeating will send you to the grave. Overeating will make you old and decrepit fast because your organs of detoxification can't eliminate the buildup as fast as you're putting it in. That's why it's good to take a day off from food every once in a while, just once a week. Don't eat anything. Or just drink the juice. Just lighten it up and keep working at this thing and cleansing because, you'll absorb better. If people aren't absorbing, then they're going to have to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. They're going to be full, be bloated in their stomach, still hungry. But if you have a nice clean GI tract because you've removed the mucus by removing those mucus-forming foods, and then you can start to really absorb, you chew well, it's like I can't eat. I always wait till everyone's done, and then I slip into the kitchen after dinner, because otherwise it's like, hey Dan, hey Dan, hey Dan, hey Dan. No, and if don't be offended if you want to come and say hi, but I can't,
It's
you
funny
know.
because that happened last night. I saw you grab your bowl of, it was late. You grabbed your food
Yeah.
and you snacked away, and she's like, Dan! She goes, I gotta go. I'm like, no, let him eat.
I had
Jumped on it.
some great zucchini noodles. Well, no, everyone's been very, very kind. They understand it, you know what I mean? No one's been rude this year or over. They get it. They little 5 minutes and stuff, but 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here. And then I don't get to really, really be there. If you're not there with it, then you won't be absorbing it. You know, you want to really cherish it. It's like sometimes you just want that full feeling. Well, that's not really eating. What you want is to extract even more subtle things, like just the enjoyment. You know what I mean? Instead of I'm just going to stuff my face, talk to a million people until I'm so full, then I know I'll stop. But you didn't really get that. Wow, thank God for this. These zucchini noodles are so delicious. You know, I love chewing them and playing, and you know, and you get, it's more of a full experience. So then there actually is a lot more satisfaction on more subtle levels. So really, awareness in everything that you do. You know, staying awake. Pay attention. You know, it's like we always look for a way to check out, right? But you'll never get to those unconscious things that are bothering you. So it's really the path of waking up and getting to those things that are unconscious, like the things like, you know, you're ugly and you don't look good, so you can't make a video. Well, that kind of thing, that's really going to put a wrench in your spokes, you know? Because you have good hair days and bad hair days, you know, but then you can't stop the world because you're not having a good hair day. You know what I mean? So you want to stay awake and become aware of that stuff. It's like, dude, come on, man, you're 40 years young. You look all right, bro. Give yourself a break. And you kind of got to work with yourself by paying attention. If you're like, oh, I don't look good, and then I'm going to go get a bunch of candy bars or overeat on something or escape somehow so I don't have to hear that voice. No, you want to hear the voice. You want to be there with it, dive into it, look at it. Where did this come from? And then, of course, you have a conversation with your mom, and she said, yeah, when you were in my stomach, this is what I thought and felt. Oh, and then everything makes sense all of a sudden why you've been judging your looks all these years, you know? It's one of my deep, dark secrets. But, you know, you make peace with that stuff. You're like, dude, you're probably going to continue to get older as you go along here. But not necessarily. Actually, that's part of my hobby is the studying the youthening. And that's why the fasting is so awesome. And the raw foods, is you can activate. Well, the fasting is the most intense thing you can do to grow younger. You know, when this one guy, he fasted these little worms. The worm lived, he would fast this one worm and let all the other worms eat as much as they wanted. This other worm lived 20 generations with periodic water fasting. That would equate to us living like 1,000 years if we did like a 10-day water fast every quarter, you know, like Paul Bragg used to do. And then he was 92 out surfing, you know. Some kind of accident or something. That's the story anyways. So, you know, just the fasting.
Any special way to go about a water fast?
What about the limon with the caliente maples?
That's okay. Yeah, that's for the beginning phases. Superior fasting is just small amount of water and a lot of consciousness to really tap in and become the master of your body. And you actually, after a while, you see that your mind makes your body. And then when you become super clear and super powerful, you make your body what you want it to be. With, you know.
Would you recommend taking, like, let's say if you work, would you recommend
a master
taking time
cleanse?
off?
Yeah, because, well, of course, if you can, you know, but if you can't, you can do the master cleanse. And for most people, you're going to remove a lot of mucus, because I am all too aware of how unaware people are of how much mucus is deeply embedded from antibiotics, Tylenol, dairy products, recreational drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, even the spices that are foreign to the soft tissues. The mucosa throws up mucus, and after you've eaten cooked food so many times, which is foreign to the body, there's this slimy paste all throughout, not just your GI tract, but even the small microcapillary blood vessels that create friction, heat, inflammation, and just clogging of the nutrients and the water to be able to penetrate deep into the teeth to deliver minerals. The hair follicles get clogged up and the blood can't flow that way. So when we do the superior fasting, it gets deep into those crevasses and moves that stuff out for a total renewal and regeneration of the body.
Dan, when you say master cleanse, you don't mean the maple syrup, because that stuff's cooked, right?
Right. I wouldn't use maple syrup. I would use honey, you know, as a far superior, highly vibrational food. Honey has got on the scale of the Brix meter. Honey is like so alive, so filled with life. And I've always had an amazing relationship with bees, you know, and they are happy to give some of their honey because this is the poverty consciousness that comes in. Bees make way more than they need. Nature always makes way more than she needs.
What about vegan people? They cannot even get close to honey.
Then they can use the coconut aminos, or the coconut, not aminos, but the coconut sweetener. Or better yet, the best is just orange juice, diluted orange juice, diluted lemon juice, you know, 2 lemons. The sweetener just makes the water more absorbable, you know, and more refreshing. And so most people can get away in the beginning with the juice fast or the master cleanse. But as you get to the higher and higher levels of mastery, the superior fast of just a little bit of water to replace the lost fluids, it becomes a purification of your soul, you know, and then the body follows the aura, the diamond body, the clarity of consciousness and purity of the spirit. And the body is simply a reflection of what's going on deep inside, you know, how purified your spirit is when they try to hurt you and you don't have that in you anymore to attack back. You know, when you've released the anger, the need to defend, to love all, even when they hurt you, to love your enemies, to praise them and wish them well. As they attack you, you pray for them and you wish them well. These are the levels of purity that will keep you, because even if you never say anything or do anything about it, if it's in you, you know your private little dreams, you'd like to punch that sucker in his head, you know. You'd like to tell your mom or your sister or that jerk on the street that ran you off today what you think, you know. But that's just eating you up inside. That's keeping you from reaching your potential. And that's what I'm going to continue to talk about, is how are we going to reach our potential? And all the little things. It's the holistic life regeneration path from the bottom of the feet and moderate exercise to how we eat, to how we are going to, what kind of thoughts are we going to produce, how are we going to deal with the unconscious programming, what mechanisms and tools do we have to start building a new path in the grass. Because you know those old paths in the grass that you've walked through, I'm not good enough. I'm just a fatty. I'll never be able to do this. I don't have the discipline. 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 There's that track, a very clear-cut path. Oh, I don't have the discipline. And now you're like, wait a minute. I'm watching Life Regenerator videos. I got to go off into the forest where there is no path and start blazing a new one. You know what I mean? So that you get the machete out and you start walking down that path. I can do it and I will do it because I am infinite. You see? And then we make videos. I can do it. I will do it because I'm infinite. I can do it. I will do it because I'm infinite. I can do it. I will do it because I'm infinite. And then guess what? The positive thinking is so much more powerful than the negative as an energy field. So one positive thought based on love can literally change a lifetime of self-criticism and hatred. That is why I keep coming back to love. So do you see? This is life regeneration. I'm proud of this work that's being done here. I can see myself coming into my own. It's a holistic thing. It's not just all spiritual. Forget the practical stuff. It's okay if you have to roll around because you ate too much. Don't worry about it. Just pray over the cheeseburger, you know? But this is a holistic, this is how the Essenes were. They looked at, it was real. It's real, you know, this body, this thing, it's real to you right now. And if it's sick and tired and in pain, that seems real to you too. And you can eliminate that, like the laws of nature and the one holy law of that which we put out is that which we will receive back. And you call that karma or whatever you want to call it, you know. But I'm so excited, so blessed to be who I am, you know. And I woke up this morning on a new level, you know. I'm so excited about the work that I'm doing, you know. And I'm just, of course they're gonna be out there trying to stop me. Everybody wants to, in this world that isn't gonna have the guts to let their light shine, is gonna wanna put a box over the top of your light. But that box is just gonna burn up, because this is an inferno of love. That's my own love for my own thing, which is the holistic life regeneration path for those that are suffering. So in other words, I'm committed to service, and I'm committed to, in any way that I can, helping people to alleviate suffering. And apparently I've done a pretty good job of that without even really realizing that that's what I was doing. And now that I'm committed to it, I wonder how epic it's going to get now, and how this tidal wave is going to come over people, and they're going to start eating better and caring for themselves and forgiving others and forgiving themselves, and start thinking more positively and believing in abundance, that they're worthy, because that's one huge thing. People, they just don't take their value, like, get your money. Get your money, you deserve it. You're going to do good things with it. It's either you or the military-industrial complex, $30 million a day practice to blow up some dirt. Either that, or you're going to like start a raw food cracker company and get your money, and then have a bigger facility to make more raw food crackers. And then the people say, oh, I never had a raw cracker. Raw, what's raw? Oh, raw. Go home, Google, hey, there's this life regenerator guy. Wow, juicing, I never heard of that. And it all started from a raw cracker, from your raw cracker company. You see, that's why I make the raw gourmet. I love it. I love making it. But I've gone past it. But guess what? 99% of the people still eat the cooked gourmet. So could I move them over into this other way? But here's this eggless veggie scramble, you know what I'm saying? It's vegan eggs made out of almonds and way too much other stuff. But that's where they are. If it's either that or they're going down to Denny's. And so they have these options. So there's this creativity. So there's this huge thing. And I wish that more people could see and understand that I have this multi-diversified thing. It's like, let's all go sit and be silent and just think about God. And then there's the dude that's got the juicing thing. And then there's the gourmet raw food thing. And it's just a full, well-rounded thing. And I'm just going to continue to express myself because I want everyone else to give their art, you know? And so I was struggling with so many different things. Like, I know the gourmet raw is not the best, but, you know, at the same time, everyone around me was eating it. So I'd make these videos. So I'm not going to be apologetic anymore. They're going to have to take it into context for what it is, because it's like an art. Like, I'll line the people up and feed them gourmet raw all day long, or we'll sit there and drink cucumber juice and sit in the hot springs and sweat it all out. So it depends on where we're at, what the context is, and how I feel like sharing that day. But we should all share our gifts, because then you'll forget about all that crap coming from your unconscious about not being good enough. You'll be so damn busy making juice for people in the kitchen. They love you for it, and then you can go in there and you can get anything you want. Not only are you a pioneer, but you come in here every day and make us green juice. Dan McDonald, free range to the kitchen. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no. It's just, I love it. And Alicia asked me to do it, and I know that it helps the crew. So there, you know, but I'm just saying that if you do good, there's no shame in the game. If you do good, people are going to overlook. They're going to be like,